Is this something you want to read? I think not. Hello and happy Monday, scholars. Today, you should have completed the rough draft of your final argument essay. Now, that means that today you should have something ready to go in terms of content, but unfortunately, not everybody knows how to format according to MLA structure. So today I'm going to be showing you how to turn your essay from this into this. We're going to do that by using a kind of We're going to do that by using a kind of formatting called MLA formatting. Now, one more time. We're going to do this by using We're going to learn how we can go through, one more time. We're going to do this by using a kind of formatting called MLA formatting. And you're also going to be adding on a works cited page, making some in-text citations, and overall making your essays look a lot prettier and more professional than they might be right now. All right, everybody, let's buckle up. We have a lot of stuff to do. First, let's go ahead and let's talk about what MLA formatting is. MLA stands for the Modern Language Association. So basically, a little while ago, a bunch of people got together and decided how we should be formatting our writing in academic and college settings. That's really all it is. Modern Language Association decided that this was the best, most professional way to format writing. That being said, by standardizing our writing, we do tend to look more professional and definitely college ready, which is why I'm going to have us all learn how to format our essays in this way. So you know that your paper is in proper MLA format when it's first written in the first place, right? You can't format a paper if you haven't written it. So for those of you who are not done, come talk to me, you're behind. But anyway, number two, it has to have a header which contains information like your name and the class you're writing your paper for. It needs to have page numbers. It needs to be double spaced with no extra spaces between paragraphs. And it has to have a works cited page. We'll talk more about that later, as well as using in-text citations based on the sources you've kept track of in your works cited page. So let me show you how to format your essay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to let you know when to pause at each step of the way so you can go into your own essay and make sure that it's formatted in this way. So this is our wonderful little essay about school uniforms. I have everything here, the intro paragraph, body paragraphs, counter-argument paragraph, and conclusion paragraph, okay? Lots of good writing, but this isn't really formatted the way MLA formatting should be formatted, right? Let's take a look at our checklist, which, by the way, I'm going to also have attached to here. And you know what? Yeah, actually, I'm going to go ahead and keep this all full screen so we can see this a little easier. So MLA formatting checklist. First things first, does our essay have a header? Does our essay have a header? Does it have our full name, our teacher's name, our class name and section, and the due date of our assignment? Looking at our current thing, no, it does not. So what we're going to do is I'm going to press enter. I'm going to skip this down. I'm going to make sure that this is aligned in the left corner, and I'm going to write my name, James Mel. On the second line, I'm going to go ahead and write the name of the teacher that this is for. In this case, it's for me. Fancy that, right? Mr. Mel. The third line is going to be the name of the class that I'm in and the section. So for this case, it's going to be English 1. And if we had period numbers, it might be like period 5. In this case, if I were in Howard, I'd say Howard, English 1, Howard. And finally, you're going to write the due date of the assignment itself. In this case, the final draft of this assignment is due, I believe it's April 8th. Yeah, that's right. 8 April 2020. So go ahead and pause the video here and add a header to the top of your essay. All right, moving right along then. Number 2, we need to make sure that our essay has page numbers. They need to be in the header section of the Google Doc, and we also have to have our last name appear in front of the number on every page. So it's going to be a little complex. Let's get through this, shall we? The way you access this space up here, the header, is either double clicking on this space and it opens up this place for editing, or if you go up to Format and click Headers and Footers, insert, there we go. If you go to Insert, go to Headers and Footers and then click Header, you should be able to access this space. What you're going to do is you're going to make sure that this is aligned over to the right. You can do Control-Shift-R or that. You're going to type in your last name, Mel, and then you're going to go to Insert. Once you go to Insert, you're going to go down to Page Number, and you're going to click this little option that shows in the upper right corner, number 1. Okay. Also make sure that this is in a professional font, and there you go. So when you click out of this, you might have to go and add your last name to this section as well. Once you click out of this, you're going to have a page number and your last name at the top right corner of your document. So go ahead and review this section of the video if you need to. Pause. I'll be right here for when you get back. All right, and the final aspect of formatting is our essay double-spaced with no extra spaces between our paragraphs. Is this double-spaced right now? No, it is not. So I'm going to make you look super impressive and make it seem like you just wrote an essay way longer than you did. What you're going to do is you're going to click up here at the very, very top of your heading information. You're going to go down here. You're going to hold down Shift and click. You can also click and drag to select this entire section. You're going to click on line spacing and you're going to click on double. Oh my gosh! And in addition to that, you're also going to click remove space after paragraph. Some of you might already have this option enabled, but at the end of the day, you're going to know that your formatting is correct if both of these say add space before and after paragraph. If they say this, then just go ahead and leave them alone. If one of them says remove space, click on it to remove that space. And look at this now. Look at this essay. Whoa! You wrote like a 3-page essay, not a 1.5 page, not anymore. This is good proper MLA formatting when it comes to line spacing. All right, everybody, welcome back to part 2 of our formatting lesson. So now that we're done double spacing and adding headers and stuff to our paper, we're going to add a works cited page at the end of our paper. Now this is super, super important because if you're not stating where you're getting your facts from, you're plagiarizing, aka cheating, and then I have to give you an automatic 0 on your paper, and then I have to call your parents. It's a big mess. Don't make me call your parents. Anyway, let's go ahead and let's talk about how you add a works cited page. The first thing that you need to do is you need to go to wherever you've been keeping track of your notes. In this case, I've been using this graphic organizer to keep track of my notes. And you're going to go and click on a MLA citation machine website. In this case, I'm going to click on citationmachine.net. Okay. Once we get there, I'm going to make sure these tabs are right next to each other, my notes and my citation machine, since I'm going to be going back and forth a lot. You're going to get to this website. You're going to click, I only want to create citations. Otherwise, you have to pay for the service, which isn't super fun. You're going to click on MLA. Once again, we're doing Modern Language Association. That's one of the more popular English ones. And this should bring you to this sort of selection screen here. You can choose if you want to cite a magazine, newspaper, website, journal, etc., etc. In this case, I need to figure out what kind of source my link is from. I got this on one of the databases, so I'm going to go up here. I'm going to paste in the link that I used to keep track of in my notes. And it's going to bring me to the original website source that I used when I was doing my research. So let's see, support the Guardian, news, opinion, sports, news. This is under news. School uniform, costs break the bank for poor families. Because this is under a news section, it's probably going to be a newspaper. Even though I found it on a website, it's more accurate to say that this is a newspaper. So I'm going to go ahead and read the instructions here. In this case, it says find a newspaper article by title. If I do autofill mode doing this sort of way, it's a little easier. But if for whatever reason the citation machine doesn't automatically find your article, you might have to click on manual entry mode and fill in all of the author and publisher information yourself. So let's go ahead and let's copy the name of this article, school uniforms costs break the bank. Let's paste it in here and see what we find. So in this case, it didn't automatically find my article information for me, so that's okay. That just means I'm going to have to fill in some stuff myself. This is a little bit more specific for newspapers, but this sort of format is going to look the same for most sources you need to put in, okay? So let's go ahead and let's make sure online is selected since we found this newspaper article online. First question it's going to ask is, what is the source type? Yes, this is a newspaper article. What is the article title? Let's go ahead and copy that into this section. The contributors, the author. Who is the author? Let's go ahead and see if we can find where the author is stated. Sometimes it's going to be at the end. I don't see anything. Sometimes it's going to be at the top. Aha, here. Toby Helm and Eleanor Busby. Okay, let's see. The first author is Toby Helm. And since there are two authors, we're going to add another contributor. Tell me who is the other person? Eleanor Busby. Okay, Eleanor Busby. The site or the newspaper the site or the newspaper title asks what the name of the newspaper is itself. In this case, the name of the newspaper is The Guardian. So I'm going to type in The Guardian. The publisher or sponsor is usually going to be at the very, very end of the web page. Guardian, wherever it says copyright 2020, it's going to show who the publisher of this website is. In this case, it's Guardian News and Media Limited. Okay. Guardian News and Media Limited. The URL is asking for the www.webpage link. So we're going to copy that over. And finally, when was this published? This was published, let's see. Usually it's going to be by the author information. In this case, it definitely is. Saturday, 3rd of September, 2011. Okay, let's see. 3rd of September, 2011. So now that we have all this information entered in, and even if the citation machine does automatically find your source, you're going to want to double check to make sure each of these are correct. Sometimes it misfills out information. We're going to click Create Citation. Boom! And it spits out a citation, shiny and new for us to copy over and put in our paper. Now, in this case, I've already partially set up a Works Cited page for me. This Works Cited page comes at the very, very end of the document. Let me go ahead and see, where should I actually put this citation? What's the first letter of the citation itself. The first letter is H. Remember, MLA works cited sources need to be in alphabetical order. So we have A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K. Okay, so H comes before K. I'm going to go ahead and paste. I recommend doing this paste without formatting so it's cleaner, because if you don't do that, then you're going to paste and it's going to come out with this like weird highlight thing. So just click paste without formatting. Make sure the newspaper title is italicized though. And boom, there we go. We just put in a source. I did this with all of the other sources that I have. You're going to do this for any source that you put in here at all, but we're not done quite yet. The last bit of formatting we have to do for a works cited page is just like the rest of the document. We need to make sure that this is double spaced and there are no extra spaces in between each of the paragraphs. Let's go ahead and remove these extra spaces. All right. Oh, but oh no, though. Take a look at this. It's so hard to tell where one source ends and the other begins, though. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to tab the second and third and fourth lines after the first line of each of these sources. So I'm going to add a space between each of these so you can more clearly see what I'm talking about. You see how this source citation is so long it goes on to a second line? What I'm going to do is at the beginning of this second line, I'm going to press enter, and then I'm going to press tab to move that over so I can see that the rest of this information all goes with this information here, the first bit of the citation. I'm going to do the same with this down here. This has 3 lines of information, so I'm going to come down to the second line. I'm going to press enter and tab. I'm going to press enter. Sometimes if you press enter the second time, it just automatically tabs over. I'm going to go ahead and do that with each and every single one of my sources so I can make it super clear which source is which. Otherwise, it's going to be impossible to tell the difference between all of these. All right, when you're done, now you can go ahead and remove the extra spaces between the paragraphs, and look at this. Oh my gosh, it's so much easier to tell the difference between all of these different sources. So that's how you create a works cited page. Once again, the works cited pages need to be in alphabetical order according to the first letter of each of these citations. Also, in your essay, if you end up citing a source, if you end up saying, for example, millions, or 6 million teenagers spend 6 to 8 hours in America's high schools, and you got that from one of the sources in your works cited page, you're going to need to make sure you do an in-text citation in the paragraph that you put this information. So in this case, if I got that fact from this source here, I'm going to copy the very first name that I see. This is a double name because it's hyphenated. I'm going to copy the first name that I got this information from. And at the very end of that sentence, in parentheses, I'm going to copy that name. So I, as a teacher, or your readers as an audience, will see that citation and know, okay, you're not just making up numbers, you're actually getting that from a source. What source are you getting it from? You're getting it from McCarthy. Okay, I'm going to scroll down to your works cited page and I'm going to see, oh, McCarthy. Okay, if I want to look up this source, I can come down here and look it up as well. So lots of different steps. Once again, please make sure you're using this MLA checklist because it contains examples of everything that you need to know. You can use this MLA checklist as a way to answer the quiz questions as part of watching this video as well. If you have any questions at all, I know this was a pretty long tutorial, please let me know. Come visit me in my office hours and I'd love to help you format your essay as needed. All right, so go ahead, get to work, go through this MLA formatting checklist, make sure everything is double spaced, you have page numbers, that you have a heading at the top of your paper, and that you have a works cited page that is formatted in proper MLA citation.